Hello, everybody. My name is Adam Bergman. Thank you so much for tuning in. This channel has one specific goal, and that is to reach a $1 million cryptocurrency portfolio. So I guess you can say I am a cryptocurrency millionaire loading. And in today's video, I want to DCA into the Hedera Hashgraph. And there's a very specific reason why I keep investing in the Hedera Hashgraph, why I keep buying Hedera Hbar, and I actually buy HTSs, which is Hedera Token Services, which is their tokens of Hedera. But that's going to be for a completely different video. Hedera Hashgraph is a very, very fast, efficient, scalable DAG, which stands for a direct acyclic graph. Finality in under 5 seconds, sub 1 penny transaction fees, not just environmentally neutral, but environmentally negative because they buy carbon credits to offset their energy use. And they have a remarkable 10,000 transactions plus currently, and when they throttle up, they can have a essentially limitless plus 1 million transactions per second. It truly is a remarkable piece of technology. Now, while I said all of these things are absolutely amazing, there is one more reason that I'm investing in Hedera Hashgraph, and one superseding reason even above all of those, and that is the Hedera Hashgraph Governing Council. And what that is a group of elites in your specific field, whether it is mega corporations, whether it is universities, whether it is academia, between finances, between law, so on and so forth. And the Governing Council members are the bodies that sit on the council that actually run the Hedera nodes. And each one of these Governing Council members is not just some off-the-street bum company or off-the-street, fly-by university. No, these are the top of our worlds. You have companies like Google, companies like IBM, companies like LG, company like T-Mobile, companies like DLA Piper. Besides, for these massive companies, you have some of the top universities in the entire world, not to mention some of the biggest banks in the world as well. One of the reasons why I think that the Governing Council is so powerful for Hedera is because they take a proof of concept and take that into a proof of action. I say this all the time. I was combing through the internet and I saw a beautiful interview on CoinDesk where they were talking about a brand new Hedera Governing Council member called Dell. You might have heard of them before. And this is what they had to say. Please listen to this and tell me if it sounds familiar with what I have been saying this whole time on this channel about the Hedera Hashgraph and how the Governing Council members are taking a concept of the Hedera Hashgraph and actually making sure that Hedera Hashgraph is not just a concept, but works in actuality. And what better way to show that the Hedera Hashgraph actually works than to use it in your own needs, to use it for your corporation, to use it for your bank, to use it for your company, to use it for your so on, and so forth, which then shows the populace, hey, Hedera Hashgraph just works, and it works smooth and easy and takes little to no effort. Watch this clip really fast.
We're going to talk about Hedera Hbar be pumping. The native token of the Hedera network is up a little bit on news that Dell is joining its Governing Council. You might remember Hedera as it's not exactly a blockchain technically. It's a hash graph. It has technology that makes it a bit more scalable, allegedly a bit more secure, and it's governed by a bunch of really big companies, including Google Cloud and now Dell. Right. So an interesting model that Hedera has undertaken. They sort of look to get these big companies on board, running nodes, sort of educating these companies and believers therein about how Hashgraph can be useful to them, right? So that's the story here. Dell is a big name, obviously, in home computing. They're becoming a member of this council, helping to dictate the future of this network. I remember last year around this time, Hedera rolled out EVM compatibility, which was a boon to getting some initial sort of applications on there that had found success on other networks. And now we see an additional sort of Governing Council member added to the roster to potentially advance Hedera even further into its tech development. So I'm going to toss this one straight to Jen for her thoughts on this Dell Hedera news.
Yeah, I think this is really interesting when you look at some of the other entities that are part of the governing council. You mentioned Google, there's IBM, LG, Boeing. Dell wants to help their customers with blockchain and Web3 related ventures. And when you look at their customers, that includes like state and local governments, financial institutions, large brands like McLaren. I think this makes a lot of sense. And the piece that I really like is they're focusing on making data processing faster. And they plan to make their case studies and the information they get from like experimenting with all of this open to the public so that others can learn. I think that makes complete sense. And when you look at Dell, established in 1984, one of like the OG tech companies, I think other companies like them will look to these case studies to see what they learned and maybe implement it. So I like the story. Wendy, what do you think?
When I saw that clip, it really spoke to me because I've been saying the same thing for quite a while. Now, Dell just joined as the brand new Hedera Governing Council member. There's some rumors that the next member might be MasterCard, possibly Spotify, or possibly Sony. I've covered the Sony and I've made connections to Spotify in the past in my videos. If you want to check that out, click on this link up above. If they become governing council members, this is going to be absolutely huge for the Hedera Hashgraph. But let's not focus on them and let's focus on what we know. Dell. The problem with Dell is people think Dell is just this big computer company worth $30+ billion that's been in business for nearly 40 years and is a household name. But what people fail to realize is Dell is a much bigger entity and a completely different animal than just some computers. Recently, Zenobia, who's the Senior Vice President of Communications for Hedera, she has something called Gossip to Gossip podcast, where she interviews different guests. And she was able to interview Steve Todd of Dell, who's the Senior Vice President of Data for Dell. And in this interview, he talks about Dell is much more than just a computer company. He literally says Dell is the plumbing of the internet, and they're working on something called edge computing. When you have data in your computer, you usually send it to a cloud. That's how data became the new ammunition of the world, cloud storage. Well, there's a different version of storage that you could do called edge computing, where you store your data closer to home, where you don't need a cloud necessarily. And this is called IoT, which stands for the Internet of Things. In order to delegate your data into edge computing, you need nodes. And one of the ways to do this is through DLTs, distributed ledger technologies. In this case, he literally says in the interview, we were experiencing with edge computer for quite a while. We believe that DLTs definitely play a crucial, vital, large role in edge computing. And Dell wants to be in the edge computing space. And Dell Computers wants to obviously put a stranglehold on edge computing. You see, right now we're in a war. If you follow me from my stock channels, you know that I'm an investor of Palantir. So I am big and huge into data, and data. I do believe data is the new ammunition. I do believe that data is the new gold mining of today's day and age. And I believe that Dell gets it with their attempt to corner the market on edge computing. Obviously, it's not just them in this field, but they're trying to take it a step further and integrate this data and edge computing into DLT services. And they literally say, Steve literally says, we will be doing this on the Hedera Hashgraph. Listen to this clip.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of Gossip About Gossip, the podcast where we talk about real-world applications of distributed ledger technology. My name is Zenobia Godschalk, and I'm the SVP of Communications here at Swirlds Labs, helping to grow the Hedera ecosystem. Today, I am delighted to be joined by Steve Todd, who is with Hedera's newest governing council member, Dell Technologies. Hi, Steve. How are you?
I'm good, Zenobia. Thanks for having me.
Good. Well, I think nobody needs an explanation of who Dell is, but for our community, can you just introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your role there?
So my name's Steve Todd, and I'm a fellow at Dell Technologies, which is really a path for individual contributors to grow in the company. I work in the office of the CTO, and our job is to really look at forward-looking or emerging technologies in the tech industries on behalf of Dell and our customers in order to best prepare our customers for what's coming in the tech industry.
Great. And, Dell is one of the most trusted names. I mean, organizations use you for a wide variety of things. I know, most people, the hardware comes to mind, but can you give us an example of the other kinds of technologies that you all bring to the market?
Sure. Well, my background is actually, I arrived at Dell through the acquisition of EMC. So, Dell has that trusted brand, well known among consumers. But once the acquisition of EMC, they also brought another trusted brand, which is a lot of our infrastructure that runs in data centers, in the cloud, on the edge, that sort of thing. So not only do we make, the highly visible consumer products, but Dell also manufactures a lot of the infrastructure and data protection plumbing that runs the internet, basically.
Yeah, you have your hands sort of across organizations and throughout the enterprise. And so what made you decide, hey, this is the time for us to join the governing council of a blockchain?
Well, I think there's two reasons really, Zenobia. The first one is, as I mentioned, we have a lot of infrastructure products, and our customers are increasingly moving from centralizing them in one location to distributing them across multiple locations, whether it's multi-cloud or whether it's edge. So we believe that a distributed ledger will be a critical part of the architecture for edge computing. We need some sort of a trusted, multi-party way to communicate business transactions. And so Dell is increasingly exploring distributed ledger technology, and Hedera has that enterprise focus that we really liked. So that's reason number one that we've decided to join. The second reason is that our customers are increasingly interested, experimenting with writing applications that run on distributed ledgers. So for us, when we join the council, right, to actually implement a node, right, a Dell server running on the Hedera network, we'll gain valuable experience that we can and then turn and share with our customers and help them on their journey to use distributed ledgers.
Guys, Hedera Hashgraph, $2 billion market cap, a $2 billion market cap. If you think Hedera Hashgraph cannot reach a 100x from where it is now, you are sadly mistaken. I'm not saying it will happen. I am saying that they have the capabilities and they have the fundamentals to actually have this happen. Besides for everything that I mentioned earlier in this video, they also have EVM compatibility, which they make it so easy for anybody that's developing on Ethereum. And let's not kid ourselves, Ethereum is the bully of the block. Ethereum has almost all market share. They're making it easy for people from Ethereum to come on over to the Hedera Hashgraph. If you believe that there's no need for people to leave Ethereum, then you're very much mistaken, because Ethereum would have never upgraded to Ethereum 2.0. However, the merge to Ethereum 2.0 is not Ethereum 2.0 as we were promised. It's not there yet. It still has the capabilities of Ethereum 1.0. It just did a merge. Later this year, they're going to be upgrading, but so far, they still have the same capabilities that they had before. Hedera Hashgraph being $2 billion, and Ethereum's current market cap is $200 billion. So can the Hedera Hashgraph 100x to a reasonable $200 billion market cap? Absolutely. Will this happen tomorrow? No. Will this happen in the next 10 years? Maybe, maybe not. I am willing to put a bet and keep DCAing into the Hedera Hashgraph, buying my H-bars little by little, and put a bet on it. Ethereum at one point was worth $500 billion, $500 billion. If Hedera Hashgraph can get a large market share of Ethereum's next bull run, it should be able to make $200 billion market cap. And then again, besides for the next bull run, there's going to be another bull run, let's say in 5 years from now or 10 years from now, after the next bull run cools off. For everything I mentioned today, I'm investing my $50 into the Hedera Hashgraph, buying myself $50 worth of HBAR today in my attempt to reach my goal of becoming a cryptocurrency millionaire. If you want to track my portfolio, I do have an Excel sheet. I have a link to my Discord, completely 100% free. We talk about stocks, cryptocurrencies, real estate, side hustles, and the economy, and you get to see my Excel sheet for every single buy, sell, trade of my crypto coins, tokens, NFTs, and projects. With that said, I have another amazing video right here down below. Please click on this video. I would greatly appreciate it, and hit the little notification bell so you are apprised of the situation when I come out with new videos. Have a fantastic day.